And hey guys, welcome back to more Steam Prison with me, Marnie. Last we left off, we just landed here in the depths, and we're about to get a tour of the area from Merlot. So yeah, I guess we'll keep going. So that's where this leads. I turned to look in each direction along the route.
Yo, 坊主。元気か？
可愛い子を連れてるじゃない。いいでしょう。
Mm-hmm. Okay. You were walking past called greetings to Merlot. Are you some kind of celebrity here?
著名人？何のことかわからないけど、僕は僕だよ。
Clearly, the terminology doesn't exist here.
ここに住んでる人たちは仲間だから、仲良くできる人は仲良くしてるんだ。
I see. You had to get along with people in order to survive. That was even more true in the depths. I hope I can get along with them too.
できるよ。お姉ちゃん美人さんだもん。
You're gonna break a lot of hearts, kid. A beauty?
そうだよ。すごく可愛いと思う。
A lot of hearts. Didn't anybody tell you you're not supposed to talk to adults like that?
だって本当のことなんだもん。
Merlot ran off with a broad grin. Followed him across the road. When I was still a police officer, I was sure I couldn't live here, but I'd hardly seen anybody on that visit or any signs of life. The whole place had felt like an empty facade. Well, that's because we were with Saxon. Looking at it now, I see that the people here led pretty normal lives. I was going to join their numbers. It wasn't that I no longer had doubts. I was still uncertain about how well I'd fit in. But my night with Merlot and Relieth had changed a lot for me. It had shown me that there was light even in the deepest darkness. I can adjust to any environment. Well, that's good for you. I'm not so sure I can say the same thing about my real-life self. Ooh. The mood on the street suddenly shifted. Did something happen? Old habit made me reach for the sword I no longer carried. Heart sinking at the lack, I looked around. I can't see any of the hounds, or anyone acting aggressively. So what's... Huh? Oh. A man walked past where I stood, and it seems like this is one of our potential romance options. That was all he did, and yet I couldn't help but stare. He looked completely out of place in the slum, well dressed from his coat to his boots. His demeanor was full of elegance and confidence. His movements had all the grace of a gentleman at a ball. Nothing about him meshed with the environment around him. If he's down here, is he a criminal? I mean, I suppose everyone who isn't a guard, as in part of the hounds, is probably a criminal, right? Unless they're part of the outer wall district, in which case they've just been here their entire lives. He doesn't look like one at all. Or unless maybe he was born here from a criminal from ages ago and kind of just grew up here. I watched him, wondering at his identity. Our eyes met. I looked away immediately, but he had noticed me and approached with light, effortless steps.
こんにちは、お嬢さん。俺に見とれるとはなかなかお目が高いようで。
That was not the first thing I expected out of his mouth. Okay.
好きなだけご覧ください。遠くから見てる分にはただですからね。
Why does this freaking confidence and personalities kind of remind me of a certain somebody? Sure, I hate the fact that I tend to be kind of attracted to people like these, so I don't know. He might, I don't know. We're gonna see how we feel about him a little further into this, but wow, what an intro. The man smiled softly and resumed his strides. He didn't turn again before he disappeared into the distance. What? Who the hell? The man had passed, chatter resumed around me. Judging by their reactions, the other residents saw him as just as much of an irregularity as I did.
うわー、びっくりした。お姉ちゃん大丈夫だった？
Oh, I'm good, kid. Yeah, I'm fine. He was just talking to me. And talking hogwash at that, I added mentally. His clothing and behavior were completely different from everyone else here. Who is he?
向こうの人。
From outside. He's from outside the wall. Outside? Merlot nodded, pointing to the wall at the border of the sanctuary district.
あの壁の向こうに住んでる人だって。
Damn, now I really want to know what their lives are outside the wall. Wall?
そう。下界っていう場所。
Let me go. It kind of seems like a fun place all of a sudden. Isn't the sanctuary district a part of the depths?
ここは保護地区で下界とは言わないよ。お母さんもみんなも保護地区っていうもん。
Okay, so this is not technically the depths. This is kind of like the heights occupied part of the depths. I see. I thought the depths referred to everything down here. I wondered what the world outside those walls looked like. Was it just more of the same, or... Merlo grabbed my sleeve and pulled me onwards before I could think about it more.
気をつけてよね。さっきの人、すごく危険なんだよ。
I'll believe that. Dangerous?
すごく悪い人だってみんな言ってるんだ。
A villain abducting people.
そうだよ。なのにハウンズったら全然やっつけないんだ。変だ
の。Options. Let us quickly save the game. As we shall endeavor to do before most of our options in the future. What a terrible man, how curious. He didn't look like that to me. Let's go with how curious. Oh! Okay, so I guess that means we got a little of his approval there. I guess that's how that works. You choose an option, and if it's the right one, you get plus points for a specific guy. Okay, nice to know. This is still the common route though, so I guess I will keep going, and hopefully we'll land on someone's route. Abduction. How curious. If he truly abducted people, he must have had a use for them. What use would people from the sanctuary district have to him? Labor? Slaves? I'd like to find out more about this. Me too. He looked like a man in a position of power. One way or another, I should be careful. Thanks for the warning, Merlo.
どういたしまして。
Hey, Merlo, did you ever go into the depths? He's a child, I don't think he would have.
ないよ。ハンズの建物に行って通らせてってお願いしなくちゃダメなんだって。僕なんかのお願い絶対聞いてくれないもん。だからきっと無理。
So people from Sanctuary would need permission to actually go outside the walls. Okay, noted.
それに僕、行きたいって思わないし、怖いもん。
It's a bad place? Somehow I'm not so sure it's that bad of a place. Just after meeting, whatever his name is.
わかんない。でもみんな言ってるよ。あそこは保護地区よりもずっと危険で、下界出身の汚い人たちが住む怖い場所だって。上界の人間の血を引く誇り ある僕たちが行っちゃダメなとこなんだってさ。
I see.
うん。誇りが何かわかんないけど、とにかく僕たちは特別なんだ。だから特別じゃない人たちが住む場所は行っちゃダメなの。わかった？
He didn't have a grasp on the concepts he was parroting. That was clear. He raised one index finger as he spoke, mimicking whatever teacher had originally explained all this to him. I get it, though. A bad place where dirty people live. We're special. We have our pride. It's the same thinking I had when I was living in the Heights. That had been my view of the Sanctuary District and everything else in the depths. Just like Merlot and the others now drew a line between themselves and the outside. I see. That's where it starts, I suppose. Okay, I got it. A long time ago, there had been a flood. The Chosen Ones had evacuated to the Heights, where I'd come from. The people born in the depths were the descendants of those who had survived the deluge, fundamentally incompatible with us. Or so they say. I suppose, even exiled as they are, they still retain some pride of being from the Heights originally. It surprised me to learn that there was a social hierarchy in the depths, but the similarity to systems from home made it strangely attractive. Does it? I'm not so sure.
ただいまー。
Merlot's guided tour was non-stop all day, and we returned to his home shortly before nightfall. It's not my own home, but I'm still relieved. I closed the door and looked around. Oh, is Rilith not home yet?
うん。今日はずっとお仕事の日だよ。
I see. That sounds rough. She went out in the morning. Either the place is doing really well, or they don't have enough people. Well, then we can get a job, can't we? Merlot was bustling around the room. He dragged a chair over to the cupboard, trying to reach something higher up. Is it your job to, cook dinner now? I'll get it for you. What do you need? Merlot pointed to a small bottle. I stood on tiptoe to reach it.
ありがとう、お姉ちゃん。
He put the bottle on the table and headed for the stove. Oh, you're making food. I'll help.
いいよ、大丈夫。慣れてるもん。
Can our protagonist even cook, though? But
いいから、ほら、座ってて。
yeah, I'll just calmly reach ingredients that you can't reach off the shelf. I guess I can help that way. Oh, okay. He wasn't bragging. Merla really knew what he was doing as he deftly prepared our food. In the end, it was just bread, pickled fruit, and water. But combined together, it made for a proper meal. I always left everything to the servants. It would have taken me ages to get this done. Okay, that answers my question. All I could do was say thank you before we settled in to eat. I suppose I'm here with him, and he's not on his own, but... Merlot, do you often have to eat alone?
うん。お母さんがお仕事の時はいつも一人だよ。
He didn't seem visibly sad or upset at that. It must have been normal for him. I see. That's incredible.
すごいってどういうこと？
Before I was alone down here, I always ate with my parents. I just think it's incredible that you can do this even though you're so young.
そうかな。よくわかんないけど、褒めてもらえたのは嬉しいかも。
Wonder how old you are, kid. Merlot smiled happily. Relith said yesterday that his father disappeared. I wanted to ask him about his father, but it seemed a cruel question. What else could I ask? Does Relith always work until late?
いつもじゃないけど、大抵はそうだよ。特に夜が忙しいんだって。
Merlot bit the corner of his stiff slice of bread and mumbled that night was when people drank.
どこで働いてるかは知らない。お酒は大人になってから飲むものだから、僕は言っちゃダメなんだって。だから僕はいつもここでお留守番するんだ。
I see. That's impressive. Eating alone. I don't think I could have done it as a child. Well, I've done it plenty of times. The thought of being alone never even occurred to me. It seemed likely that Merlot had been living like this since he was born. Pitying him for it would have been insulting in its own way. I had a truly blessed childhood, didn't I? I mean, it's a different one. I thanked my parents for everything and listened to more that Merlot had to say as we ate. After dinner, Merlot fell asleep almost immediately, as I expected he would. But I tossed and turned, unable to do the same myself. I imagined it a lot faster last night. I managed it a lot faster last night. I wondered if I'd slept in too late. Maybe I was having more trouble physically adjusting than I'd realized. A breath of fresh air might help. Crept out of bed as quietly as I could, so that I wouldn't wake Merlot. I don't want to walk around unarmed. Isn't there anything, just in case? Yeah, how about that frying pan? I hear that's a pretty good weapon. I looked around. I was unsurprised but disappointed to see that there was nothing remotely like a sword. Who needs a sword when you don't have a frying pan? The kitchen knife. Maybe that's a little dangerous. Heck, even the ladle will suffice. My eyes fell on a sturdy stick near the door. I picked it up. It was almost as long as my arm and well polished. This should come in handy if I need it. I held it loosely in my left hand, ready to grab and brandish it with my right if needed. Then I set off from the house. I breathed in the night air. Unused to it, I noticed the damp and slightly rotten smell as I drew it into my lungs. Get used to it. I had to get used to it. I didn't want it to bother me forever. Whether I was going to the back to the heights or not, for a time I would be living in the depths. Walked quietly. I was being especially careful because I'd been told how dangerous it was, so I was trying to remain in the shadows and move slowly. The road was narrow and difficult. It was easy to get lost among the side paths, but Merlot had done a good job showing me around, and I had a rough idea where I was. The main road is over there, and the market is...
もうダメですよ。
Oh, what's going on here? I knew that voice. I strained my ears. It was, without a doubt, Reliv's voice. I moved towards the voices from shadow to shadow.
これ以上はいけません。話してください。
Does she owe someone a debt?
んだよ、愛想悪いな。いいだろ、ちょっとぐらい。
Oh, bother.
いえ、私は家に戻らないと。
The heck are they doing to her? I don't like the sound of this.
うるせえ。俺の言うことが聞けないってのか？
Relith! The man had pulled her close to him. I have to help her. I snuck up on them.
可愛がってやってるってのに、なんだその態度。痛い目に遭わなければ。
I placed myself between Relith and the man and raised my stick at him.
てめえ、何しやがる？
I should be asking you, you lowlife.
あの。
Don't worry, leave this to me. The man was carrying a sword, but he was obviously dead drunk. I was confident that if it came down to it, I could easily win. Next time, I'll hit you properly. If you don't want to get hurt, then leave.
今日ザメだ。もういい。あばよ。
The man glared at me and Relith before he disappeared into the darkness. When the stink of liquor finally wafted to me, I almost threw up. What an unpleasant drunk. At least he left without putting up a fight. I turned around towards Relith. Are you okay?
ええ、まあ。
She doesn't seem all that pleased. Who did we just hit? Was it a guard or something? Are we gonna get in trouble? Is something wrong? Are you hurt?
いえ、そうではないの。助けてくれたことは嬉しいんだけど、さっきの人、私の乗客なのよ。
Well, is he gonna remember that hit tomorrow? Damn. Customer? What do you even do, lady?
そう。私の働いてるお店での金払いのいいお客さん。
Are you really a waitress?
私の仕事は若くて美人な子ほど受けが良くて、こんなおばさんを相手にしてくれる人多くないから。ね。
Choose. You're not a waitress?
ウェイトレスあの子から聞いたのね。
Well, okay. So that's just what you told your son. Got it. Damn, I'm as usual slow in the uptake.
ええ。私はウェイトレスなんかじゃないわ。自分の体が商売道具なの。
Yourself?
そう。結婚相手でも恋人でもない人の相手をするの。お金のためにね。
Yeah, I guess this is not a job we wanna dip our hands into. But, so the man just now...
そう。彼にはごひいきにしてもらってるわ。乱暴だけど、ちゃんとお金はくれる。とてもいい人よ。
I see. I'm sure saying I see a lot. I didn't regret stopping the man from hurting her, but it may well have given me more trouble in the long run. What if this means she won't have as much money now? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. Perhaps it would have been better to ignore it.
私のことを思って助けてくれたんでしょ。その気持ちは嬉しいわ。
I mean, I imagine you would have kind of stopped me a little earlier before I did something more regrettable and protected your customer a little more if you were not cool with that, I suppose. She must have known what I was thinking. Her voice was soft and comforting.
でも、次からはやめてちょうだいね。あと、仕事のことはメルローには内緒で。
Because you're not a waitress.
そうよ。こんな汚い仕事、正直に話す気はないし。あの子が察するにしても、もう少し大きくなってから。知るにはまだ早すぎるわ。
Yeah.
望んでこうなったわけじゃないんだけどね。
Relov gave a sad smile, kicking at a small stone on the ground.
実はね、メルローの父親は誰かわからないの。
It wasn't the man you were exiled with?
ええ。あの人はこっちへ来てすぐに消えてしまったから。
Damn, he really wasn't worth your while, was he?
この保護地区で女ができることは本当に限られてて、私は自分自身を商売道具にする以外の仕事を見つけることができなかった。そんな中、あの子が生まれたの。父親がわからないなんてかわいそうだけど、たった一人で生きてきた私にとってはかけがえのない我が子。宝物よ。
Rila.
ここ保護地区は女だけで生きていくには厳しいわ。朝から晩まで働いてもお菓子一つ満足に買ってあげられない。それでも生きたいならそうするしかない。手も足も使えるものを全て使ってあがくしかない。それがあなたが生きていく世界なの。これが保護地区なのよ。
Does not sound like sanctuary. Lilith ran her hand over her head, over my head. Then she began to walk home.
戻りましょう。明日も早いんだから早く寝ないと。
Okay. Rila walked a few steps in front of me. She seemed taller and nobler to me after I had heard her story. She does whatever she must to support what's important to her. I felt like I couldn't forgive myself for giving her more to worry about. I wanted to look after myself. Wanting it isn't enough to make it happen. I have to think about what I can do to live here. I touched the pendant on my neck and followed Rila. Morning arrived. After breakfast was done, I decided it was time to go looking for work. Rila told me that it's hard to find a job as a woman. Nevertheless, I had to search until I found one. I didn't want to sell myself. I remembered her words from the night before. I have to use what I have and eke out a living. What do I have? Go with the sword. Oh, is this where the options or your route comes into play? You get a job as a bodyguard, and the other one's a prisoner route. Wait, what do you do in the prison as a prisoner? Prisoner doesn't really sound like a job. Maybe one is you find a job as a bodyguard, and the other one is you just don't get a job and you do miscellaneous tasks, I guess. Okay, I guess I can sort of see why the servant route and the warder route are just not open at the beginning of the game. And one's a DLC content, because they would probably deviate from this story way earlier, I think? Yeah, you probably don't get sent to the depths in those routes, so yeah, I guess this makes sense. Okay. Maybe there was a job that required me to use a sword. As I made preparations to leave, I heard small footsteps approaching.
お姉ちゃん、どこ行くの？僕もついてってもいい？
Know anyone looking for a hired worker? You wanna come? I'm not going out there to have fun. I saw his wide-eyed curiosity and found it hard to say no. Rila patted Merla on the head.
彼女は用事があるそうよ。今日は私と一緒に過ごしましょうね。
Merla looked between me and her and smiled.
わかった。いってらっしゃい、お姉ちゃん。
Yep, see you later. I'm glad Rila did that. Thinking about how I wanted to become as considerate as she was, I looked up at the sky. It was as gray as always, hiding my old home from view with ashen clouds. One day, I'll go back. Standing and staring wasn't going to help me get there. I had to look forward, not up. The past couldn't help me. I had to live if I wanted a future. I already miss Finn. I see. Thanks. How many did I try already? I'd gone to the market searching for work, but hadn't found anything so far. I'm glad when they just hear me out. I lost count of how many rejections I'd had, and that wasn't even counting the ones who'd shoot me off immediately. I didn't have to do this in the Heights. The two areas were radically different. I knew that comparing them all the time was counterproductive, but my mind kept on doing it. I mean, you've only been here like a few days. It's gonna take a little while, girl. If you wanted to be a police officer or any other kind of public job, you had to go to the temple first. The temple posted application deadlines and examination dates, and if you passed those and the interviews went well, you had the job. Not everyone who wanted a job ended up with it, of course, but if you aimed within your limits, you rarely failed. I never heard of anyone being unable to find a job whatsoever. It was an alien idea to me. Well, you would not survive in my world, girl. The children studied, the adults worked. That's what I was taught. I was reminded once more of the blessing my upbringing had been. I'm hungry. I've been walking for hours. I didn't feel particularly exhausted, but the emptiness in my stomach was starting to hurt. Hunger and thirst were a problem. They made me slower mentally and physically as well. I want to head back, but it feels so futile to do so without results. My options were narrowing. I'd scoured the entire area. I suppose I just have to look further afield. In the distance, I could see a queue of people lined up. What are they doing? I was still on my quest for a job, but my curiosity got the better of me. I should take a look. A long line had formed in front of a hound's building. It wasn't the large headquarters I'd visited as a police officer, but a smaller outpost. The people had formed an orderly queue in front of it. I wonder what they're waiting for. I approached and looked past the throng of people. Are those rations? One by one, the people received goods. I saw canned food, bread, that kind of thing. I see. I'm not just watching them, I guess. I wonder if I have the right to a ration too. There were people of all ages and genders in the queue. Their clothes were shabby. I strongly suspected they were residents of the Sanctuary District. I mean, they should be, right? I should queue up as...
ほら、列を乱すなよ、薄のろ。
Oh. One of the hounds dragged a man out of queue. He'd done absolutely nothing.
何を
命令だ。てめえは後ろに並べ。
ですけど、私は何も朝から並んでいたというのに。
んなこと知るかよ。ほら、配給が欲しけりゃさっさと並べ。
The man stumbled to the end of the line. The others gave him looks of pity. But none of them attempted to help him. They were afraid the same fate would befall them. It's horrible. I couldn't bear to see the behavior of the hounds, or the misery of their subjects. Even if I'll suffer, I don't want the hounds to carry me through this. I decided to leave, carried by the pride I couldn't shake. Okay, girl. I was beginning to feel dizzy. I chalked it up to my painfully empty stomach. I ate well this morning. Why am I already in such bad shape? Scolding myself was pointless, though. I wanted something, anything, in my mouth. Even through the cloudy sky, the sun seemed excessively bright. The voices around me were painfully loud. This is bad. I'm getting confused. I went into a side street, hoping to catch my breath. Stink was revolting, but it was much quieter than it was in the main street. I leaned against a wall and breathed deeply. I wish I could find some food somewhere. One should not eat food lying around, but even that was beginning to sound attractive. If there had been food on the ground in front of me then, I would have been tempted to eat it. I'd rather not do that. Huh? Water? I strained my ears. It was faint, but I could hear the sound of flowing water. As soon as I realized that, my thirst took immediate control of me. Something to drink would be fine for the time being. What if it's just a sewer? I just needed one gulp. Something to drink. Anything in my mouth. Anything in my stomach. My urge to drink grew irresistibly. There it is. The stream followed the walls of the buildings. It was too shallow to even scoop up by hand. I had to bring it to my mouth some other way. The water was visibly murky. I hesitated to touch it. Is that even safe for consumption? But the times were too desperate to be picky. I had to do something. I have to change myself if I want to survive. I steeled myself and went down on my knees. I hope this is safe. My mind rejected my body's desire for this water. I didn't want to touch it, much less drink it. No, I have to drink it. Wasn't I starving? Didn't I want to fill my empty stomach? Don't worry, nobody's watching. You just have to take one gulp and that's it. I slowly leaned forwards and brought my mouth closer to the dirty stream.
そんなの飲んだら腹壊すよ。
Hello? Ah. Another love interest. Potential love interest. He's kinda cute. Seems kinda young though, I think. I looked up and saw a boyish-looking man standing right in front of me. It startled me so much that I fell backwards, sitting down hard.
何暴れてるんだか。
He sighed and stood up.
バカじゃないの。あんなの飲めば確実に腹を壊すよ。
Okay, so it was not safe for consumption. He retrieved a small water skin from his bag and offered it to me. Oh, well, thank you. Is that? It had been made from the stomach of some animal I couldn't identify. The skin was small enough to fit comfortably into someone's hand, and the opening was closed tight.
水飲みたいんだろ。やるよ。
Yours. Okay. Now to figure out which option is the option I'm supposed to go for. Thank you. That's a bit suspicious. I can't take that. I would probably just say thank you. I mean, he's offering you water, you want the water. Like, I don't think he has any bad intentions here. At least I don't think so. This is the depths. What could he possibly have against me? Oh yes, okay, cool. Thank you. I took the water skin from him and his eyebrows twitched ever so slightly.
へえ、驚いた。あんたって意外と素直なんだな。
Oh, did he think I was gonna reject that? Well, I mean, it is an option, I guess, but... He's a potential love interest. I'm not gonna just say no, right? I guess it helps that I already knew he was a potential love interest. Tougher nut?
そう。もっとごねたり疑ったりするのかと思ったから。
Perhaps I would if I weren't in mortal danger. The water skin was heavy. It was only after I opened the lid that another thought occurred to me. Who are you? Why are you helping me?
僕はウルリク。その水袋は先行投資。以上だよ。
An investment. But okay, nice to meet you, Ulrich. An investment.
そう。あんたは僕のことを知らないけど、僕はあんたのことを結構知ってる。
He has a last name. Are you not a resident of the depths? Ulrich gave me a cunning smile, his voice taking on a sing-song timbre.
上階出身、元下級警察官であり、保護地区への視察経験あり。合ってるよね。
Answer. Why do you know that?
どうしてだろうね。視察に来た時、ハウンズとなんか揉めてただろ。剣を振り回してさ。剣で戦うなんて、上階出身のやつって本当に遅れてる。時代錯誤もいいとこだ。ほんと、バカみたい。
Yeah, she didn't seem to know anything about guns, but the people of the depths seem to know what those weapons are, so... Curious.
今の時代、主流は銃だよ。撃ち方さえ覚えれば、女子供だって簡単に扱える。
Who is this guy? I drank his water as I listened. I couldn't ignore his jabs, though. Apologies for being behind the times.
はあ？悪いとは言ってないだろ。変な解釈すんなって。
Okay, so he didn't mean any insult. It's just kind of frank.
とにかく、あんたに興味を持ってる依頼主がいてね。
A job?
ぜひ雇いたいとのことだ。 職を探してるんだろ。いい話だとは思わないか？
My answer is no. Oh, come on, girl. We need a job.
はあ？どうしてだよ。てか、もっとちゃんと話を聞けって。
No way. This is super suspicious. Besides, how do you know that I'm looking for work? I don't even know how he knows so much about us, but, I suppose these channels exist in the depths. Huh? It happened in an instant. I looked away for the briefest moment, and Ulrich vanished. What just happened? I looked all around me, even up at the rooftops. He was completely gone. I couldn't even hear footsteps. Damn, he's a ninja. Did I dream that? Had I fallen asleep in broad daylight? Feeling nervous, I looked down. I was still holding the rather heavy watered skin. Oh, he didn't take that away from me. It must have happened if I still have this. That led me back to my original question. Where had he disappeared to? It was as if the earth had swallowed him. Ulrich, huh? What a strange guy. I was just grateful that my thirst had been quenched. I was irritated by Ulrich's sudden exit, though. I tied the water skin to my hip, unable to thank its owner for the loan. Yeah, I kind of wanted to grill him a little bit more. Like, how do you know all that stuff? Where do you find it all out from? What are the information channels available here? It's gone dark. I tried for a while longer to find work, but without any success. When I'd set out, I'd been willing to do anything I was able to do, but you turned down the one job offer you had, girl. Nobody I approached seemed to need anyone. I'm losing faith. I knew that feeling so disheartened when it was only the end of my first day was silly, but every rejection hurt. I'm tired, but I need to keep going. I decided to try 3 more people. I pushed my negativity away for the time being. Well, what was that? I turned and saw a woman cowering on the ground. A man was fleeing the scene at top speed. A purse snatcher. My police officer instincts awakened, and I ran after him immediately. Weaving through the crowd, I kept all my focus on my quarry. He didn't try to veer off the main road as I chased him, which meant fewer obstacles for us to avoid. Is he hoping to simply outpace me? I was confident I could track him. He wasn't getting away. Slowly but steadily, I drew close enough to strike. From a low crouch, I launched myself at him. Ah! Just when he turned around, I slammed into his back. We rolled over the ground. Dead. Now I have to pin him. Before the man could stand up again, I put my knee on his back. Anyone want to hire a bodyguard? I took the pouch he had stolen from his hand. Anything else you stole? Alright. I led the man over to the woman.
なんだよ、ちゃんと返しただろう。
Heck if I know. I can't tell if that's everything you took. Over there.
これで間違いありません。取り返してくださりありがとうございます。
ほら、だから言っただろうが。
Thieves don't get to talk back. I untied his hands and he glared at me. What did I even tie his hands with?
くそ、覚えてろよ。
I'd heard that a lot as a police officer and ignored him. Good grief. You're okay, right? Are you hurt?
はい。本当にありがとうございます。
The woman gripped her pouch with both hands. It must be important to you.
はい。亡くなった子供の形見で。ああ、いけない。お礼をしなければ。
It's fine. Always faithful, we served the. Oh, come on, girl, let it go. Oops. I'm no longer a police officer. I stopped myself. The woman pressed some coins into my hand. What is this?
貨幣です。ほんの気持ちですけど、受け取ってください。
Saying her goodbyes, the women left. The excitement had worn off for the crowds around me as well. Odd. This is the money they use in the depths, huh? I looked at the coins in my palm. They were made of a metal I couldn't immediately identify. The face of a woman in profile was engraved on one side, and numbers on the other. What surprised me most was that money was used in the depths at all. Perhaps it was obvious, but I've been brought up thinking that the depths were too barbaric and simple for a currency-based economy, so it was something of a shock. I have no idea how much this is worth, though. I decided to give the coins to Relith. With any luck, they were enough to help with daily necessities. I didn't find a job, but I earned some money. That's a better start than it could have been. Alright, time to go back. And I guess that's pretty good. Night had fallen by the time I made it back to the street they lived on. I hope Merlot and Relith weren't worried. I remembered my small windfall of money and smiled, knowing it would cheer them up too. I didn't know how much the coins were worth. But even if it wasn't much, it would probably still be a bit of help. I hope they'll accept them. I'm back. Relith, Merlot. I opened the door with enthusiasm.
Yo, 遅かったじゃないか。
What are these guys here? Why? Hounds! There were 3 hounds in the room. No, 2 more behind me. I'm surrounded. I looked around. Where are they?
安心しろ。そいつらは安全だ。今のところはな。殺されたくなければ、下手に動かないことだ。
Seriously, what's so special about this girl that they all want to gang up on her? I just don't understand yet. And I really want to know. One of the men behind me gave me a hard push. What do you want?
忘れたとは言わせねえ。昨日の夜、よくも怪我をさせてくれたな。
Oh, I see. This is just karma biting my ass. Last night. What? That was you who attacked Relith?
口の利き方には気をつけろ。
Unbelievable. How could someone attached to the temple attack the people?
民笑わせるな。保護地区の奴らは俺たちとは違う。犯罪者、人間以下のクズだ。どう扱おうが俺たちの自由だ。あいつらも、お前もな。
You're the one who ought to be punished. How dare you lay a hand on the weak, you pitiful man.
てめえ。
おいおい、そこまでにしろ。今そいつを歩けなくされるのはごめんだ。持って帰るのが面倒だからな。
Hounds sure are a piece of work.
わかったよ。
Carry me.
ハウンズへ暴行を働いた罪をその体で償ってもらう。抵抗は無駄だ。おとなしくついてこい。
Like I'd ever go with you willingly.
来ないと、女とガキがどうなっても知らないぞ。
Alright. But swear to me you won't harm them.
ああ、いいとも。今は手を出さないでおいてやるよ。ほら、行くぞ。
たく、女一人捕まえるためになんでこんな人数が必要なんだ？
Beats me.
仕方ないだろう。そいつは凶暴だ。お前、身に染みて分かってるだろ。
そうだけどよ。ほんと手を焼かされるぜ。でもよ、見た目は悪くないんだよな。何より若い。酒場の豊島連中よりずっと楽しめそうだ。なあ、 俺の女になるってのはどうだ？今までのことは全部水に流してやる。優しくしてやるぜ。
Yeah, this really deals with some mature themes, doesn't it? You're a woman. Even if I wasn't exactly sure what he was offering, I knew I didn't want to be anyone's possession. I refused. Didn't understand his proposition, but I knew he was the one who'd hit Rila. Only a dim-witted coward would strike a mother.
なんだと?
Enraged, he gave me a hard shove. It wasn't a particularly strong jolt, but my stomach was empty, and so I stumbled.
金か。いいものを持ってるじゃないか。
Give it back.
断る。俺が拾ったんだから。これは俺のものだ。せいぜい有効活用してやろ
う。リーダーには生きたまま連れてこいと言われたが、傷をつけるなとは言われてない。昨日邪魔された分、楽しませてもらうぜ。
What? I tried to stand up, but a different man held me down by my feet. No matter how I struggled, I couldn't free myself. Then the shadow of the man fell over me.
その反応、生娘か。上等だ。
This is not a fun situation, guys.
そこまでだ。
誰だ？邪魔すんな。
イネス・ハインリヒ・ハイネ。お前の上官だ。
I guess he's supposed to be the decent one in the house.
副リーダー。それはこの。
言い訳は後で聞く。まず彼女から離れろ。こうですが、リーダーが連れてこいと。
I need to stop accidentally skipping lines, but I guess it's just gonna happen when my fingers just go trigger happy by accident.
ザクスが。それはともかく、組み敷く必要はあるまい。むやみに乱暴するな。
こいつは犯罪者ですよ。遠慮なんか必要ないはず。
無防備の女に暴力を振るうなど無様だ。弱者にしか威張れないのかと陰で笑われるぞ。
Their Innes turned his gaze to me and told me to stand up. My joints creaked and I had to steady myself against the wall.
連れてこいとザクスに言われたのは確かなんだな。
I guess he thinks this is kinda sus.
はい。診察の後、第三独房に入れておけと。なるほど。わかった。彼女は自分が連れて行く。
Why do I do that? There was silence. Sir Innes looked at the hounds and nodded.
おのおの、通常任務へ戻れ。解散!
The others dispersed immediately. In less than a minute, we were alone. Thank you for rescuing me, Sir Innes.
勘違いするな。救助ではなく、連行を引き継いだだけだ。だいたい、自分はなぜ君が連行されるのか理由を知らん。
You and me both. Well, you see...
言うな。情が移ってはいけない。ザクスの命令を引き継いだ以上、自分は黙って従わねばならん。
I'm kinda curious how you ended up with the hounds. I see. Still, let me thank you. And I also do wonder why the hounds are the way they are. Like, how'd that happen? I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't come. I wonder what the men wanted to do with me. You freaking... She's dumb. This is another dumb heroine. I truly didn't know, but I did know it was nothing good. Thank you.
これから牢に入れられるというのに変だな。
Okay, if it's anything I've learned so far, it's that I really do not like the heroine. I can't relate to her very well. Shrugging off his confusion, Sir Ines took out a rope used to restrain prisoners.
単独で罪人を連行する場合、拘束が義務付けられている。縛らせてもらうぞ。いいか？
We're both odd ones, Sir Ines. There's no need to ask me if you have to do it anyway. I put my arms behind my back to make it easier for him to tie them.
それもそうか。
His movements were a little clumsy. I could feel the rope chafing at my skin. It was an unfamiliar pressure. His movements were clumsy? I guess he doesn't do this often.
では行こう。まっすぐ歩け。
Roger that. When I was still a police officer, I was the one restraining people. I felt a wave of dismay and let Sir Ines direct my walking. We were going straight towards the headquarters of the Hounds, the place the people in the Sanctuary District fear it most. By the way, I do hope she checks on whether Relith and Merlo are okay. At the very least.
グリッサードさん。
おや、イネス君。それと。
Didn't think we'd see each other again, did you? Good evening.
どうも。こんな遅くにどうしました？ああ、いえ。話は伺っていますよ。はい。
Glissad stood up and read through some papers on his desk.
診察をしろとザクセン君に言われています。しかし驚きました。まさか君が彼女を連れてくるとは。
成り行きで引き継いだだけです。お気になさらず。
Glissad gestured towards a chair and I sat down.
おや、頬に擦り傷がありますね。どうしました？
The Hounds. There was some shoving.
そうですか。立場が変わっても元気なようで。
Glissad coated a gauze, some kind of disinfectant, and pressed it to my cheek. I winced. I keep wanting to say glissade. Maybe I will.
この程度の痛みでうめいていては身が持ちませんよ。ねえ。
そうかもな。
What do you mean, Sir Ines?
ザクスの考えていることはわからないが、奴が独房を利用するのは大抵が懲罰目的だ。おそらくお前も例外ではない。
Punished. But why?
理由がわからないのですか？
No. Very many things about my situation in the past 48 hours have been very sus. I protected a woman from a violent member of the Hounds yesterday. At the time, that had seemed like the correct course of action. It only made it harder for Relith and I was captured as well. You saying I shouldn't have protected her? Should I have just ignored her?
お前の気持ちはわからんでもない。だが規則は規則だ。上界での常識や正義はここでは通用しない。
There's something weird about that sentence, but okay.
そしてここでの規則はハウンズが決める。歯向かえば罰せられる。当然のことだ。
And just who in the Hounds set these rules? But
まあまあ、これでも飲んで落ち着いてください。
Glissad gave me some water and a pained smile. Thank you. I drank all of it. It didn't calm me down.
君は長生きしたいですか？それとも早死にしたいですか？
Depends on the life. Glissad.
質問を変えてもいいですよ。楽に死にたいですか？それとも苦しみながら死にたいですか？
Again, depends on the life.
ここ保護地区ではハウンズが頂点であり絶対なんです。不時には飲まれよと言うでしょ。あれこれ難しいことを考えないでただ従いなさい。そうすれば比較的楽に生きられますよ。
Can I deal with it? Morally? Ethically? Perhaps, but it's hard to accept that. This may not be the heights, but the hounds are still a part of the temple. They are supposed to serve the people. I can't accept that they're unjust and arbitrary violence.
ハウンズの副リーダーたる自分の前で言い切るとは大したものだ。
Oh,
君がどうなるかはさておき、早死にはしてほしくないですね。若い人間の解剖ほど辛いものはありませんから。栄養不足以外は問題ないようです。収容を認めます。
how does she get malnourished in like 48 hours?
わかりました。行くぞ。
He thumped my shoulder and I stood up. Thank you, Glissad.
ええ、お大事に。まずは独房を生きて出られることを祈っていますよ。
So, yeah, for the sake of this story, I think she will.
ザクセン君が無茶をしなければいいのですが。
I didn't know how long it had been since I'd entered solitary confinement. I could tell that it hadn't been multiple days yet, based on my general health level, but that was all. The cell was probably underground. There were no windows. Inside my cell, there was a simple wooden bed. Outside was a hallway. There was no clock or anything else that made a sound. When I held my breath, it was as if I wasn't there either. All I had to gauge the passing of time were the footsteps I heard several times a day. The time isn't all I've lost track of. I didn't know what Reelith or Murloc were doing either. Well, damn, we don't know if they're okay or not. I tried asking the people who came to me, but they never gave me an answer. I wonder if they're all right.
よう、元気にしてるか？んだよ、愛想悪いな。げ、飯も食ってねえのか。水はちょっと飲んでるみたいだが、ハンガーストライキってやつか。バカだな。
Is she afraid to be poisoned or something? But then she wouldn't have drank the water. Like, what the heck? The man from the hounds leaned down and switched the food I hadn't touched with new food.
薬も飲んでねえのかよ。ほんとバカだな。
Medicine. Murloc once gave me that too. Murloc had told me that if the people in the sanctuary district didn't take that medicine, they felt bad. Why do they feel bad? Why does the medicine make it better? I didn't know. It was very odd. I can't take something I don't know.
無知はこれだから困る。上界の人間は下界の空気に慣れてない。ハウンズが配給する薬を飲まないと病気になんだよ。親切で恵んでやってるんだぜ。感謝しろよ、罪人。
The man threw me a little bottle with pills. It rolled off my body and onto the floor.
じゃあな、死ぬのは勝手だが、俺が当番じゃない時に死んでくれよ。
Then he left. I kicked the little bottle across the room. The man had said that my body wasn't used to the air and needed the medicine to avoid getting sick. It's true that I haven't felt very good down here. I'd been feeling exhausted, sleepy, unfocused, and my joints had ached. Okay, maybe that's more understandable as to why she's been kinda sick. I'm like, because so far I've been like, why is just half a day of not eating anything doing this much damage to her? It didn't really make sense in my brain. I wonder what I should be doing. I didn't want to die. I wanted to survive and return to the heights, then eat the bloody food and the medicine. Still, my desire not to bow to the hounds was too strong. Like hell, I'm going to let them help me. Unable to make up my mind, I touched my pendant and stared at the floor. Too prideful. Way too prideful. I can hear footsteps. They were heavy, dragging slightly over the floor. It's not one of the guards. That said, I had no energy for anything. I didn't move. I didn't even open my eyes. I was totally disinterested in who was coming.
無様だな。
小娘。
Well, now I'm even less interested. That voice. Saxon.
俺が来たんだ。身だしなみくらい整えろ。
For you, no. No, no, no. What are you talking about?
ここ保護地区の頂点たる俺が直々に顔を見せてやってるんだ。喜んだらどうだ？何がおかしい？
Not being able to tell when someone hates you must be a nice way to live. My thoughts were slow and clumsy, and I couldn't bring myself to care much about anything anymore. Can't even speak properly. Still, I wanted to tell him something, so I stirred what little energy I had left, sat up, and glared at him. It's all well and good when you've got the power. No matter how many you hurt, everyone will grovel at your feet. But you don't inspire a single one of them. You're nothing but a tyrant, with nothing to back you up, except fear and coercion. And someday, when your power is withered, you'll face a reckoning, Sir Saxon Brandenburg.
力が衰える覚悟。口だけは達者だな。現実を見ろ、現実を。
Saxon grabbed me by the collar and lifted me up. His eyes were cold and hard, piercing me like icicles.
誰が俺に逆らえると言うんだ。いや、誰も逆らえまい。誰一人としてな。
Who even put you in charge?
逆らう者は皆殺してきた。気に入らない者も全部この手で壊してきた。
Okay, that's answer enough. Are you going to kill me too?
そうだな。だが今ではない。もっと絶望させてからだ。
Despair.
そうだ小娘。貴様には絶望が足りん。楽に殺してやるものか。気に入らないのだ。その目が。
The hand on my collar disappeared. Instead, his hand closed around my throat without mercy. I can't breathe. I tried to fight him off, but I was far too weak.
どうだ苦しいか。死の淵は見えたか。だがまだだ。
Saxon had lifted me off the ground by my throat. Now he threw me against the wall. Oh, that was really bad. That was so bad.
苦しかったろう。好きなだけ空気を吸え。
In case no one's realized by now, I'm just trying not to shout because it is daytime as I record this. I'll put a little more effort into it if I do a night recording next time. Gosh, I really can't with sound effects. I'm so bad at this, I'm sorry.
死の淵まで追い詰めて、逃がして、追い詰めて、その目が濁るまで、どこまでも追いかけてやる。絶望に染まったその時、楽にしてやろう。空気は十分吸ったな。さあ、次だ。
Okay.
ここにいたか、ザクス。
イネス。何の用だ。
新人が到着した。面談をするんだろう。
Okay. Saxon kept his eyes on me as he listened to Sir Ines.
貴様のような女、簡単には殺さん。追い詰めて追い詰めて、猟犬に噛み殺させてやる。
言ったか。あまりザクスを挑発するな。
I don't think our girl can stop herself. He offered no reply. Sir Ines sighed and looked around my cell.
料理がそのまま。その姿、食べていないんだな。
He picked up the bowl of oatmeal and approached me, leaning down. He forced my mouth open with one hand, force-feeding me spoonfuls of food with the other. Oh, well, okay. Stop.
食べるというのならやめてやる。食べないというのであれば、食べさせるまでだ。
He shoved another mouthful in. I began to choke. Serenas looked down at me and sighed.
飲まず食わずで何が成し遂げられるというんだ。こんな場所で顔を貫いても、お前のためにはならない。
I know.
ここで死ねば、文字通り無駄死にだぞ。
I agree with you, but our girl is dumb. Why?
Hmm?
We're with the hounds. The others said the hounds wouldn't help me. So why aren't you the same as them?
自分はハウンズとしての務めを果たしているだけ。これはお前を思っての行動ではない。
I wonder how interesting his route might be. Might be fun to see his angle on things. Maybe his route will provide more insight into the hounds in general. I'm sure everyone's route, in terms of the love interests, have their own like insight into this whole world that we're currently living in. So yeah, I guess everyone will have a different angle on things. So it might be a good idea to play all the routes, but I probably will only record like one for each option, I suppose. I'm not entirely certain yet. Depends how much I enjoy this, I suppose.
だからこそここでは死なせない。殺せとは言われていないからな。急がずとも人はいつか死ぬものだ。ならばそのせい全うするがいい。
Ah, a kind of rebellion. I'm gonna stop apologizing for just accidentally skipping lines. I wondered if Serenas realized that I was refusing to eat as a way to show resistance. He probably does. He was also trying to give me advice. I have no idea why he's doing this. I knew that I had to change my approach, my way of thinking. I'd lost my parents and been exiled to the Sanctuary District, but I was still alive. So far, I'd survived. Didn't I swear to myself that I'd survive? I'd sworn to myself that the chaos wouldn't swallow me, that I would endure it. It's too early to give up. I have to live through this. Well then, eat your frickin' food! Thank you, Serenas. I will... I tried to stand up, but my legs were too weak, and I fell. Serenas caught me before I hit the ground.
食事をとり、体調を整えることから始めることだ。いいな。
His whispers were low and calming. I felt safe. Okay, I promised, and closed my eyes. I stopped refusing food after Serenas admonished me for it. The hounds used this opportunity to insult me again, but now that I had changed my way of thinking, that meant nothing to me. Good girl. I started eating and taking my medicine again, and it gave me back some positivity. I realized, belatedly, that food fills the heart as much as it does the stomach.
準備はできたか?
Okay, guys. And that's a little over an hour again, so I'm going to stop this recording over here. Some interesting developments in this particular one. I'm glad that we've met most of the romance options. I think we've actually met, Oh wait, no, I think there's still one person we haven't met. I don't know if he will show up in the next recording, but I'm hoping he will because I would like to meet all of them. I mean, they usually let you meet all of them before you get to choose a route, right? So yeah, let's see where it goes in the next one, and yeah, see you guys.